Hey, it's Mrs. McGowan. So we're going right down the list of our self-discovery inventories in Naviance. So we've already done the intelligences. So now we're going to look at the learning and productivity inventory. So we're going to look at your sensory, environmental, and mindset preferences to help develop and adjust your study practices. So from the Naviance home screen, if you're back on home up here, you're just going to go into self-discovery and self-discovery home, and we're looking at the second one. So we're going to start the assessment. So this one takes about 20 minutes, and once again, just answer as honestly as possible because there's no right and wrong answers. This is just to help you. So we'll go ahead and start the assessment. And once again, you're just going to tell how much each statement is like you. So the first one, if I have something new to learn, I'd rather read than talk with someone to learn about it. So again, this is just about your learning style. So if you're somebody who'd rather read instructions, you might pick a 4 or 5 to strongly agree. And if you'd rather have somebody explain it to you, then you'd go with 1 or 2 because that's not really a lot like you. I think I'm somewhere in the middle on that one. And then the next one, I study best at a table or a desk. So again, personal preference here. So just go ahead and go through answering as honestly as possible. And now I've completed the inventory and my results are coming. So let's look at the summary for me. So it's going to look at your sensory preferences. Visual, if you're high or low visual, and I'm kind of in between. If you're high or low auditory, I'm kind of in between. High or low tactile, and I'm on the low end here. And low or high kinesthetic, and I'm also on the low end. And then your environmental preferences. If you prefer a warm or cool environment, and obviously that's very clear that I like it warm. If you like to move around or be still, and I'm kind of on the fidgety end of that, I do like intake. And then I'm right in the middle with if I prefer a traditional or casual setting, background noise, time of day, and I really don't have a preference for that. So I'd say that's right. But again, it's based on my answers. And then light, a little bit of low light. And then my mindset preferences. So you can see I am a little bit motivated by teacher feedback. My self-motivation is kind of right in the middle. My focus is right in the middle. Independent or collaborative is right in the middle. And that may change I feel like probably when I was back in school, it was more independent, and now I like a more collaborative environment, but maybe it's because I get to choose that collaboration a little bit more. And then the structure. And again, probably when I was a student, I probably did better with more structure, and now I'm okay with a little bit less. And then if we scroll down, we can learn a little bit about this here. So it says here, I have a moderate preference for auditory learning, and that means I sometimes like to learn by listening, but I can probably focus and remember some of the information that I hear, and I can get better with practice. So again, like the other inventory, it's going to have recommendations for you here during your instructions. Same with kinesthetic, it's going to tell me what my preference meant, and then recommendations for me. So I think probably, especially for any of the ones that you're very high or very low, it's going to help you with recommendations for how to study when you're not in the environment of your preference. I'm going to look for one where I'm a little more. So if we look at my environmental preferences here, I like intake here, which means that I do like to eat or drink when I study here. So the recommendation would be to bring small snacks or chew gum in class if I'm allowed. So again, these are going to have recommendations based on your preferences. Mine were pretty much in the middle here until we get to environment. So I really like a warm environment. So the recommendations for me are to always have a jacket, fleece, or sweater with me, sit near the sunshine, that kind of thing. And then my preference for mobility was a bit high, so recommendation for me was to take breaks every 15 or 20 minutes to stand up and move around, or to have something to fidget with. So again, these are just recommendations for you. So maybe some good ideas if you're having trouble in certain environments, and maybe some good insight if you didn't realize that your difficulty might have been due to those things. Mindset preferences, same thing. And collaborative or independent, I think, would probably be particularly important here. As I said, I can work pretty well in either, but especially in the school setting, you might really hate group work or maybe really thrive in that setting. So the recommendations here, how to help if you really have a preference one way or another for that, how to help you work on your assignments or tasks, how to help you focus during class, and how to help you prepare for tests and presentations. So again, recommendations that are tailored to you. And if you feel that it really doesn't speak to you, I would recommend taking the inventory one more time and just seeing if maybe your answers were a little varied or you weren't understanding them correctly. Okay, and next we will do the next inventory.